Hey guys, so today I have for you my dinners I ate this week video. You guys had commented that you were interested in seeing the dinners that I made after my very first grocery haul. So that's what I did for you this week. I filmed every dinner that I ate this week, and the way that I sort of did it, and you guys let me know if you like this concept or not, but the meals that I made specifically, I did film like the steps. So I'll be talking my way through like how I made it, what the recipe is, where I got it, that kind of thing. So if you don't like for these to be so lengthy and you just like to see more like completed meals and just explaining what it is, let me know. But I thought some of you might be interested in seeing like the actual preparation of the meal and it cooking, and like, I mean, that stuff interests me, so I thought that it might interest at least a few of you. So just let me know if you like the way that I did it, because this is kind of long. I think I've got all my food together, it's like 12 minutes or something like that. But yeah, just let me know, and then I can work on either doing the same thing for next week or switching it up a little bit if you guys aren't interested in seeing them this long. But yeah, all of the meals that I made this week, we did actually eat out more than once, which is what I had said in my grocery haul video. We ended up eating out 3 times. All of the meals that I make on a pretty regular basis, and they're some of my favorites to make. So these are things that I love to eat, and I am excited to share them with you, and I hope that you enjoy this. Like I feel like I keep saying, just definitely leave me feedback on the way that the video is, so hopefully you don't get too annoyed with me talking constantly, explaining how I made the food and stuff. So I'm gonna just jump into that right now, and I hope you enjoy this video.
So for the first night's dinner, we had burgers. These were the Chipotle black bean burgers. We just got them at Costco. They're not actually vegan, so my husband ate these. They're from Morningstar, so if you see those at Costco, know that they're not vegan. Then I had the field roast burgers, and these just contain stuff like vital wheat gluten, barley, garlic, onions, tomato paste, celery, carrots, mushrooms, and balsamic. So I just have a shot of the nutritional value and the ingredients here for you. They are pretty high in sodium and calories because they are a bit on the fatty side from all of the stuff that's in it, but they're really good. They have a great texture, and they cook and they look pretty much just like burgers, so I really like these. And then I like some spicy pickles, wheat buns. We use the organic wheat buns. My husband likes Dijon mustard on his, and I like mayo and ketchup on my burgers. And then we just have some chips as a side. Usually we do chips or fries, and then lettuce and tomatoes just as toppings. Usually I do onions, but I forgot. So here is a clip of just what the burgers look like before they're cooked, and then I'm going to leave you with some nice food sounds.
You want to take out one box?
And here they are just as they're done. I like watching things cook and food sounds, so that's why I left that stuff in. So here is just my burger. Lettuce, tomatoes, mayo, ketchup, and then the burger, and then just some chips on the side, and that's it for the night. And then I finished off with one of these coconut milk, coconut almond minis from So Delicious. These are really good. I really like the So Delicious desserts. They're all really good, but these are some of my favorites, so those are so good. And then for dinner on Sunday, we had breakfast for dinner, and I made these perfect pancakes out of the vegan brunch cookbook. This is my favorite recipe for pancakes, and it just includes flour, baking powder, salt, cinnamon, almond milk, maple syrup, canola oil, vanilla, and then some water is in that Pyrex cup down there. So here's just mixing all of the dry ingredients together, and then just mix it all together. Then add the wet ingredients and then mix that all together. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I took a shot of everything. So I like them pretty thick, so I leave them pretty thick. So here is just some food sounds of the pancakes cooking. I did add a little bit of oil, and I've actually stopped using oil when I cook pancakes. So future pancakes I don't even use oil anymore. So here are just the toppings we like to eat. Usually I like to have honey or maple syrup. I'm trying to use up some old honey now, so that's why that's there. Soy-free earth balance, and then mixed frozen berries. This has just strawberries, blueberries, and blackberries. And here is what the finished pancakes look like. So I also like to make a really large batch of this, and then I store it in the fridge for the rest of the week. So I just have my extras here, and then I store it in the fridge and finish it during the week. On Monday night, we had Mexican salad. This is frozen corn, garlic, cherry tomatoes, avocados, pinto beans, and then romaine for the actual base of the salad. And then for the dressing, it is lime juice, cumin, cayenne pepper, chili powder, some salt, pepper, and then I use really good olive oil. I save specific olive oil for dressings and things, so I use good olive oil for this. So open and drain and rinse the pinto beans. That's pretty self-explanatory. I think some people probably don't rinse their beans, but I like my beans rinsed. And I just have this cute little colander for rinsing small things. So I put those in a bowl. I add salt and pepper. Then I add a bunch of chopped garlic. I use a lot of garlic. So then while I'm doing all that, I cook the corn. Then I add the cooked corn to the top of that, add more salt and pepper, and then I just mix it together. And the hot garlic infuses with the garlic infuses with the hot corn. And it just smells, the house smells so good. So to do the dressing, I do usually it's about half a cup of lime juice. It depends on the limes. And then I add the cumin, I add the chili powder, and then I add the cayenne, and then salt. I don't know if this technically counts as food sounds, but here's me mixing the dressing together. So I mix the spices together first, then I add the olive oil, and then I just mix some more, and I add more olive oil as I need until I get the consistency I want. You see, I ran out of my good olive oil. I had to use some not so good olive oil for the rest of this, and I just mix it all together and add more oil as needed, and then taste, see if I need to add any more spices or salt or anything like that, and then it is good to go. So here is all the getting ready. So I've got the halved tomatoes, I've got the avocado in slices, I've got the corn, the dressing, and the lettuce, and then all together it looks like this, and it's pretty darn amazing. I make this probably once a week or once every other week. I'm actually making it again. Like 3 weeks later, I'm making it again. And then for dessert, we had these Almond Dream Little Dreamers. This was the first time we had tried these. It's almond milk ice cream bars. We've never had these before, but they're actually pretty good.
Who knows? I don't know. What's sad is that this is the only social event I've been to in 6 months.
Oh, that doesn't qualify as a social event. No.
It's okay.
Can I get you anything else?
Yeah. How about a foot massage?
So, and then for Tuesday, we had pasta fagioli, or pasta and bean soup. This is like my favorite recipe to make in the whole entire world. I found this on Yahoo like 3 years ago. I still have the exact same paper. I printed it out that many years ago, and I make this all the time. So this is basil, which is just for topping. And then on the inside of the soup is vegetable broth. There is onions, carrots, celery, fennel. I'm actually panning really slowly. And then I put lots of garlic in. You'll see I really love garlic. And then there's cranberry beans and dried thyme, bay leaf, salt, pepper, diced tomatoes, small pasta, and then olive oil. So I like to start out just by rinsing the beans and letting them soak a little, like 20 minutes while the vegetables are cooking. I don't really soak my beans a lot. I just prefer not to do them that way. But if you soak them a lot longer than this, you could probably cook this dinner in a lot less time than I do. But I just like to let them soak for a little bit while I'm cooking the vegetables. So while those are soaking, I chop the onions, I chop the carrots and the celery, and that all goes in at the same time. So I put all that stuff in the pot first. I just do a really big dice on it. I like them to be pretty chunky, and I put lots more in than the recipe calls for. So then I just use some olive oil, and then I add the carrots and all that stuff in. So lovely food sounds coming your way. And I just cook these until they get pretty brown and caramelized. I love the smell that vegetables make when they're cooking, and these just smell pretty darn amazing when they're cooking. So here they're just a little bit softer, and then they're starting to get more brown. So then I add the diced fennel, which is roughly the same size chunks. Cook that down until it starts to get pretty brown and golden and delicious. And then once that starts to go in, I add the bay and the thyme. Stir that all together. So then I grate the garlic instead of just chopping it, which gives it a more intense garlic flavor. So here's just some shots of me grating garlic. I love garlic. I put garlic in everything, and I put way more than most recipes call for. I'm like a garlic fiend, so I put a lot of garlic in here. It ends up being a pretty large mound, as you'll see here in a second. So here is just all the garlic that I grated, and it's going to go in the pot here pretty soon. But here's just some more cooking shots of the vegetables. They're starting to get more brown and tasty looking. They just look so good. I love watching vegetables cook. So in here we're at a point where it's pretty much they're good to the point where I like them. You can definitely stop earlier if you'd like. So then once the vegetables are done, in goes the beans, and then the garlic goes in with the beans. There's the lovely garlic. All that goes in and it gets stirred together, and then I let that sit for just a second while the garlic heats up and it gets like intoxicating. I love the smell of hot garlic. So then once that stuff is good to go, then I put in the diced tomatoes, and the vegetable broth goes in as well. So then once that's all in, I just put a nice drizzle of olive oil and then put the cover on and let it come to a bubble. Once you have put all the stuff in, it usually takes about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how long it takes your beans to cook. So while that's cooking, I separate the pasta into separate bags because you don't want to cook the pasta all at the same time because then it gets mushy. So you separate the pasta into separate portions. Here it is, just boiling away. So here it is when it's actually done. So I transfer some of it to a separate pot to cook with the pasta, and then the rest goes in containers to go in the fridge once they've cooled for leftovers for the rest of the week. You want to cook them just until the beans are pretty close to done. You don't want to cook them until it's all the way done. So here I forgot to adding the pasta, but you don't really need to say that anyway. So there's just some pasta. The pasta's in it. So here's what it looks like when it's done. It's nice and thick. It's more like a stew than a soup, I guess, but I really love it. I love it when it's really thick like this. So then it goes into bowls, and then I add salt and pepper, and then the basil goes on top, and then it gets mixed in, and then I drizzle some good olive oil over top of it, and it is just the most delicious thing. I love this. I could eat this every single day and never get tired of it. I'm gonna leave the link for the recipe down below. I'd suggest you make it. So then Wednesday we went out to dinner to this place called Wok Box, and I was just showing here they had some vegan options. I did this on my iPhone, so it's terrible. So here I got the sweet Mongolian, which is ginger garlic raisin. Yeah. So I was just showing you the rest of the menu that had the vegetarian options. Here's what it looks like. I've said already it's on my iPhone, so it's just terrible, but it looks pretty good, but it didn't taste very good. It was really bland and it was sweet. It was like sweet and bland. It was really weird. We did end up bringing our leftovers home, and then I ended up tossing them because I knew we were never going to eat them. It was not good. Neither one of us liked this place. So if you've got a Wok Box in your area, just don't go because it's not good. So then we were feeling pretty depressed about dinner, so we went to dessert in the same area, which is a Frost Gelato place. So here's just a quick pan of like all the different kinds of gelato. It's not a vegan gelato shop by any means, but they do have some sorbets at the end, which are made with fruit, and that's what I get. So I like this. So here's just a pan of some of the fruit ones, and then I get the banana one, which you'll see her scooping her out here in a minute. It's just banana. It's really good. It's the only one that I like. I've tried some other fruit ones, but the banana one is my favorite. And here is just a shot of my banana gelato. It is vegan, no animal ingredients, really good. So then on Thursday, we went out to dinner again. It's at this place called Casa Ramos here in town, and here are the 2 vegetarian options that they have. I guess you can make anything else vegetarian, but these are pretty much the only options. I get the veggie burrito, which is sauteed mushrooms, peppers, and onions, and it's wrapped in a tortilla with some sauce and guacamole on it. Here, just chips and salsa. They actually have the best chips and salsa of like any Mexican place that we've been to. Here's my husband introducing him, and he is trying this prickly pear margarita, which was so sweet. It didn't taste like alcohol at all. You can see it on his face. He's got like sugar shock. It's pretty funny. But yeah, he didn't enjoy that. He didn't even drink most of it. So here is just a shot of what I got. And there's the burrito. I asked them to leave off the sour cream and the cheese. And then these are just beans. They're not made with any animal fat whatsoever. So these are the beans and then the burrito. And then it's got the guacamole. It's actually pretty good. We go here quite often. And then lastly, we went to this place in Casa Grande called EG's. I just have a picture of it here. It's just a veggie grinder with some random vegetables on it and then just some fries. And then I left off, it was sort of like a slushy. It was like a peach slushy thing that they make that they claim has no like high fructose corn syrup or anything like that. So that was everything that I ate this week.